Well, we're going to now get into another conversation, and we are looking to talk about trends we're seeing in regard to investments in the country. And I'm now joined by Isaac Ngaru, who is the executive founder of the Insurance Information Bureau. Many thanks for joining us this afternoon.
Thank you.
And looking at Kenya right now, a host of the working class are yearning to get products that can be able to give them maximum returns. Many people are rushing to buy land, others are buying shares. And what are some of the trends we are seeing in insurance?
Well, insurance is also changing. There are many products coming on board for both savings, investment-related products, as well as risk management tools for taking care of the various risks that society faces. And with an increasing middle class, there's a budget increasing with middle class, there is more demand for insurance in various areas, like with to do with health risks, risk insurance for properties and other areas to take care of various risk management issues that we have in society.
All right.
Yeah.
And from where you sit, as having championed the Insurance Information Bureau, perhaps what are the numbers looking like? Last time we did a check on the penetration of insurance in the country. It's at just under 3%, nearly 2.7%. And why this situation?
It's precisely the insurance penetration ratio in Kenya is last year was 2.75%. Penetration ratio, let me explain here, is the percentage of the total premium in the market to the GDP. It's a percentage in percentage terms. Now, this has been coming down from 2013, when we had the highest penetration ratio. It was about 3.44%, and now it's gradually reduced to 2.75 last year. Now, what this means is that the GDP has been increasing at a faster rate than the total premium, which means that in real terms, there has been a deceleration of growth. So when we look at the figures of premium written, this has been increasing considerably. For instance, last year, the market figures show that the total premium in the market was 197 billion. And this was an increase, a growth of roughly 19% over the previous year. So in quantitative terms, it looked like insurance growing, but when we compare it with the GDP growth rate, the growth rate in insurance is slower. Now, one of the things, of course, here is the biggest challenge has been in the insurance industry is to increase that penetration ratio. Because when we compare this with more developed markets, the average penetration ratio in more developed markets or mature markets is about 6.5%. So we still got a long way to go before we hit that average, the global average of insurance penetration ratio. Yes.
And what is needed to be done right now? Is it a question of better pricing? Is it awareness? What ails our country in regard to this?
It's a combination of all those factors. First and foremost, of course, greater awareness of the value and advantages of insurance is a critical requirement in our market, because many people do not understand the value and advantages of insurance. And if they do not understand how insurance works and what it can do to solve their various problems. The general perception is that insurance is for the rich, for the elite, or for corporates and businesses. But insurance is very much a tool for managing risks that are faced by the common man. So this is a question of perception. So awareness is very critical in this particular state, because once people are aware, they are able to make better choices, and they are able to choose insurance over probably other instruments that are there, which are good enough, but insurance could be better in some certain situations when it concerns contingent events, risks, and so on and so forth. So awareness is very critical and comes on top of it. And so general perception in insurance need to be changed. And that is where a body like Insurance Information Bureau comes in. And this was conceptualized way back in 2006 when I found out, as I was a columnist for one of the major papers here in insurance, and from my own perceptions of what I could see, the kind of inquiries I used to have on insurance matters by all sectors, including also from the insurance sector itself, I found that there was a great need for closing that what we call insurance information asymmetry, that gap that exists between what people know about insurance and what they really should know about it in order to increase the uptake of insurance. So what informed the founding of Insurance Information Bureau is to have an agency which could institutionalize this giving of information to the various publics, the insurance publics, particularly the insurance buying public, the investors in the insurance industry, as well as also providing information for better decision-making within the insurance industry itself.
All right.
So that's how we came up with the idea of founding the Insurance Information Bureau as a body corporate which would give independent, impartial information. And it would serve various publics, not least also the media itself. I used to get a lot of inquiries from the media who wanted what they called impartial information, not necessarily directly from the market, but from somebody who could give it impartially and independently and accurately. So media is also one of the publics that we had in mind that we would liaise with when it came to founding the Bureau. For a long time, we put on hold the operationalizing of the Bureau because at the same time, the Insurance Regulatory Authority came to be. That was the end of 2006. And at the request of the Commissioner, we put this on hold, the operationalizing of Insurance Information Bureau, because the IRA had more or less similar mandate about public education, for instance, and other issues, which were being covered also by IIB in our proposal. And we put it on hold. But now that the insurance industry is changing by the day, like now we are facing a situation where IRA is going to be merged with other financial services regulators to form Financial Services Authority. We thought that it was time to operationalize Insurance Information Bureau so that we can address the problems of insurance specifically without the whole thing being submerged in the new authority, because we don't know what it will take. So what the Bureau will do is just to complement what others are doing. Our mandate specifically is an information service for the members of the public, to liaise with the media, also some data warehousing, and also research, as well as building capacity in the insurance industry. So those are the basic mandate of the IIB. I may also add here that IIB is a not-for-profit insurance company that is registered under the laws of Kenya as a company whose liability is limited by guarantee. So we do not have a share capital, and it's a member-owned company. So it is not a profit-making organization.
All right. And Isaac, as we wrap up the conversation, of course, where does Kenya lie in terms of insurance uptake? We've seen a lot of companies coming in from South Africa trying to have a foothold in the country. And I just want to get your brief remarks as we wrap up. Where are we headed as a nation? Is the insurance industry going to be the next big industry or not?
It is, the potential for the industry in Kenya is considerable. At the moment, within the region, Kenya is considered to be very advanced as far as insurance systems and offering is concerned. In fact, the other countries in the region look up to Kenya, for example, of where to go, the direction to go. And the potential for Kenya is seen. Probably we don't even see it that way. But by the interest that is shown by outsiders who want to come in with foreign direct investment in this particular subsector, I think the potential is considerable. Based on the growth of our economy I think there is considerable scope for growth in this particular area, and that's why no wonder there is considerable interest in the Kenyan economy from would-be insurance investors in this country. We have, talking about the region, we have about 52 insurance companies, right? 52 insurance companies. Tanzania has about 31 insurance companies. Uganda has 29, and quite a number of these companies are subsidiaries, that is within the region, are subsidiaries of Kenyan insurance companies. So the Kenyan insurance industry is also spreading around the region. So that is something very significant about it. It shows that we have something to give out there.
All right. Many thanks, Isaac, for those insights. We've been speaking there to Isaac Garu, who is the executive founder of the Insurance Information Bureau, just walking us through some of the interesting developments in regard to insurance. Well,